You remember 2021, right? Everyone was buying JPEGs for millions of dollars. Bored apes. Crypto punks. Profile pictures that cost more than houses. Your friend bought one for $50,000. Told you it was the future of art. Told you he'd flip it for $200,000 easy. You thought about buying one too. But something fell off. Fast forward to today. That same friend, his $50,000 Bored Ape is worth $8,000. If he can even sell it. Here's the thing. NFTs are dead. Not dying. Dead. The market cap crashed 72% in 2025 alone, from $9.2 billion in January to $2.5 billion by December. Sales volume dropped 63% in Q1 2025 compared to 2024. Weekly sales in December 2025 barely hit $70 million. That's nothing. But nobody's talking about it, because the people who sold you on NFTs don't want you to know what really happened. My name is your name, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people lose money on hype, especially in crypto. If you're someone who bought an NFT at the peak and can't figure out where it all went wrong, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Because what happened to NFTs wasn't random. It wasn't market cycles. It was predictable. And if you don't understand why it collapsed, you'll fall for the next one. The numbers don't lie. Let me show you how bad it really is. Market cap. January 2025, $9.2 billion. December 2025, $2.5 billion. That's a 72% collapse in 1 year. Sales volume. Q1 2024, $4.1 billion. Q1 2025, $1.5 billion. Down 63%. Average NFT price. 2021 to 2022, $400. 2025, $96. Down 76%. Blue chip collections. CryptoPunks floor price, down 12 to 28%. Bored Ape Yacht Club, similar drops. Even the best, NFTs are hemorrhaging value. Buyers and sellers. Buyers, down to 135,000. Sellers, below 100,000 for the first time. The market is literally running out of participants. This isn't a dip. This isn't consolidation. This is a market that's already over. What they told you versus what actually happened. Let's rewind to 2021. Here's what influencers, celebrities, and experts told you. NFTs are the future of art. No, they were JPEGs with blockchain receipts. Own a piece of digital history. You owned a link to a server, not the actual image. Exclusive community access. A Discord server you stopped checking after 2 weeks. This will only go up. Narrator, it did not go up. Get in early before it's too late. Translation, we need exit liquidity. Here's what actually happened. You bought into artificial scarcity created by hype, sold to you by people who had already bought in cheaper, and the moment new buyers stopped showing up, the whole thing collapsed. The 3 lies that killed NFTs. Lie number 1. Digital ownership. They told you NFTs gave you ownership. But what did you actually own? Not the image. Anyone can right-click and save it. Not the copyright. The creator still owns that. You owned a token on a blockchain that pointed to a URL. That URL hosted the image on a server. If that server goes down, your $50,000 investment is a dead link. This isn't ownership. It's a receipt for a thing you don't control. Lie number 2. Scarcity. They said, only 10,000 Bored Apes will ever exist. True. But here's what they didn't say. There are infinite other NFT collections. In 2025, total NFT supply hit 1.34 billion tokens, up 25% from 2024. That's not scarcity. That's infinite competition. It's like saying, there are only 10,000 of these rocks, but there are a billion other rocks. Scarcity only works if people want your thing specifically. And when everyone launches their own collection, nobody's is special. Lie number 3. Community and utility. The pitch. Buy this NFT, get access to exclusive events, future airdrops, real-world benefits. The reality. Most Discord servers died within months. Exclusive events were Zoom calls. Promised utility never materialized. Projects abandoned roadmaps. You weren't buying into a community. You were buying into a marketing campaign. Why it all collapsed, the real reasons: 1. The pandemic bubble. NFTs exploded during lockdown. Why? People had time. Stimulus checks gave them money. Crypto was pumping. Interest rates were zero. FOMO was everywhere. It was the perfect storm for speculation. But then, lockdowns ended. Stimulus stopped. Interest rates went up. Crypto crashed. People had less time and less money. The fuel that drove NFTs up, gone. 2. It was always a Ponzi. Let's be honest about what NFTs were. A speculative game where early buyers made money only if new buyers paid more. That's not investing. That's a Ponzi structure. And like all Ponzis, it works great until it doesn't. The moment new buyers stopped showing up, the whole thing collapsed. Because there was no underlying value. Just hype. 3. Celebrities and influencers dumped. Remember all those celebrities pushing NFTs? Justin Bieber, Paris Hilton, Jimmy Fallon, Snoop Dogg. They bought in. They promoted. They sold. They left. You were exit liquidity for people with millions of followers. 4. The market got saturated. In 2021, over 1 million NFTs were traded in a single month. Every day, new projects launched. Every week, a new blue-chip collection. The supply became infinite. Demand couldn't keep up. By 2025, there were 1.34 billion NFTs in circulation. How is anything scarce when there are a billion of them? 5. Rising interest rates killed speculation. When interest rates were zero, people put money into anything that might go up. NFTs, memecoins, SPACs, whatever. But when rates rose, suddenly you could get 5% risk-free in treasury bonds. Why hold a volatile JPEG with no cash flow when you can get guaranteed returns? Capital moved. NFTs got abandoned. 6. No real utility. They promised utility. What did you actually get? A profile picture. Maybe a Discord role. Vague promises of future perks. That's not utility. That's marketing. Real assets generate cash flow. Real businesses provide services. Real investments have fundamentals. NFTs had none of that. The people who knew and sold anyway. Here's the part that makes me angry. The influencers pushing NFTs knew this would happen. They weren't stupid. They were greedy. They bought early. They hyped it to their followers. They sold at the top. They moved on. And now, silence. Nobody's talking about their NFT investments anymore. Because they already cashed out. You were the exit liquidity. But what about the survivors? You might say, some NFTs still have value. CryptoPunks. Bored apes. True. But look at the numbers. CryptoPunks floor. Peak, $400K plus. Now, down 12 to 28% recently. Still valuable, but falling. Bored apes floor. Peak, $300K plus. Now, similar drops. Even the winners are losing. And for every CryptoPunk, there are 10,000 dead projects worth zero. Survivorship bias is real. Don't confuse some survived with NFTs are fine. Where the market is now. Let's look at 2025 data. Weekly sales, barely $70 million. Buyers, down to 135,000. Sellers, under 100,000. For context, at the peak, weekly volumes were in the billions. The market is running out of participants. It's not coming back. Even Ethereum-based NFTs, which dominated the market, saw 70% drops in sales volume in December 2025. This isn't a bear market. It's extinction. The lesson: hype is not value. Here's what NFTs taught us. Hype is not equal to value. Just because everyone's talking about it doesn't mean it's worth anything. Scarcity is not equal to scarcity. Artificial scarcity and infinite supply is not scarcity. Community is not equal to investment. A Discord server is not an asset. FOMO is not equal to strategy. Buying because you're afraid to miss out is not investing. Celebrity endorsements is not equal to due diligence. Just because someone famous bought it doesn't mean it's valuable. What you should do now, if you still hold NFTs: 1. Be realistic. Most are worth zero. Some will never recover. Accept the loss. 2. Don't hold out of stubbornness. Sunk cost fallacy is real. Don't keep holding just because you already lost money. 3. Learn the lesson. The next hype cycle will come. It'll look different, but the pattern will be the same. 4. Focus on fundamentals. Invest in assets that generate cash flow, have real utility, solve actual problems, have sustainable business models. NFTs had none of that. The next thing might not either. The next NFT is coming. Here's the uncomfortable truth. This will happen again. Not with NFTs, but with something new. A new technology, a new narrative, a new group of influencers, a new wave of FOMO. And people will fall for it, because the pattern is always the same. New tech emerges. Early adopters make money. Media hypes it. Celebrities endorse it. Retail FOMO in. Early adopters sell. Market collapses. Retail holds the bag. NFTs. ICOs before that. Defy yield farming. Memecoins. The names change. The cycle doesn't. Final thought. NFTs aren't coming back. The market is dead. The hype is over. The money is gone. But the lesson? That's yours to keep. Don't chase hype. Don't follow celebrities. Don't buy things you don't understand. Don't confuse popularity with value. And most importantly, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. NFTs promise digital ownership, exclusive communities, and generational wealth. They deliver dead links, abandoned Discord servers, and 72% losses. Learn from it, so you don't fall for the next one. If this video helped you understand what really happened to NFTs, hit that subscribe button. Comment below. Did you buy an NFT? What happened to it? Let's talk about it. See you in the next one.